This video is kind of tough for me to make, man. This is a very disappointing moment in my journey as a network technology content creator here on the platform. What I'm starting to see, and I'm going to give you guys the full rundown, is Verizon is actively removing millimeter wave radios from macro cell sites. This one in particular that's being pictured is from a rooftop site that I've tested on a couple of different occasions on my YouTube channel. The first time you guys saw me do some testing on this site, it was actually Nokia radio vendor gear when it was first installed. That was back in like 2019 or 2020 or something. And performance was really modest. I mean, it was fast for the time, right? Nobody had ever seen gigabit speed, but the connection was really fickle and it was not that stable and reliable. And then it got better with some updates and stuff like that. And then Samsung got involved and Verizon ended up upgrading the tower site, swapping it out with Samsung radio gear. And the Samsung radio gear was better from day one. And then it got better with updates and performance improvements. I mean, I've been really thrilled with the progression of Samsung radio gear. They've done a pretty nice job with the band 48. They've done a nice job with the C-band, improving with power and millimeter wave and all those things. It's been really nice to see Samsung come along. They're not as good as Ericsson in a lot of ways, but it's been awesome seeing that progression over the course of the last several years. And it's been amazing to see Verizon push the technology forward and really build out this unique network experience. This particular site was one of my go-tos whenever I had to upload 4K video to YouTube over a cellular connection, because you're getting 300, 400, 500, 600 megabits per second uplink. There's nothing like millimeter wave, nothing, when it comes to wireless connectivity. It is an absolute capacity cheat code. There's nothing that compares to it. I don't care how many channels of NR you are connecting to on any commercial network in the US. You are not doing what millimeter wave can do. And just raw throughput. It's not even an argument. I'm not talking about the robustness of the connection indoors. That's not what I'm talking about. Just when it comes to raw speed and throughput, it is the bee's knees. But I'm starting to see Verizon remove millimeter wave radios from macro cells. This one in particular, a rooftop site that serves a Walmart, it serves an apartment complex, it serves a set of hotels. All three sectors on this rooftop no longer have millimeter wave. CBRS is still there, N77, the C-band, still there. Okay, so I checked with a couple other macros, same thing. They've been removed, and this must have happened very recently. And it's just crazy to me, because every cell site that has had them also got all the other fixings. So it got me to thinking, what's the possible situation here, right? I've checked around all the small cells that have millimeter wave. Those haven't been touched. The millimeter wave is still on the CRAN. They're still in the small cell configurations all over the bakery, everywhere that I normally see them. So they haven't touched those. But the macros, the couple that I checked on, I'm going to have to do more, right? This isn't complete an investigation by me, but I've noticed some of the macros have lost the millimeter wave. All macros have band 48 though, CBRS, and they all have N77, and they've added more sites. There's lots of newly built CRAN, many new CRAN. Verizon has done a really nice job shoring up coverage gaps, weak coverage issues, and adding capacity. A lot of those small cells don't even have C-band yet. But I thought about the reason, and I'm guessing that these particular sites simply didn't have the usage on the millimeter wave technology. So, Verizon engineers or whoever made this decision within the market, they probably thought about power bills. They probably thought about the space and the lease agreements and the terms of, putting all the gear up there. Maybe the gear went to a more needed area, maybe it was relocated. I think those are all plausible explanations. Also thought about new millimeter wave gear coming soon, although doubtful. You would think they would do that all at the same time, remove and then replace, that sort of thing. This is a candidate site for the MDU solution, right? Where, you're going to do like point to point, air fiber kind of deal, to the apartment complexes or the condos or whatever. I will tell you guys though, there's a part of me that thinks worst case scenarios, all these macros are going to lose the millimeter wave, right? Unless it's got the usage. Maybe it's possible they just have the confidence in what they have with C-band and CBRS. And we all know that Verizon was building the millimeter wave at a time when there was no other frequencies. You know, a lot of people say Verizon wasted their time, wasted their money. They should have been building mid-band. There was no mid-band. They built millimeter wave while they were waiting for an auction to take place. That auction didn't happen for multiple years down the line. You know, that narrative is just so inaccurate and is just such misinformation. It's just horrible, right? So I say all that to say this. I'm disappointed in the Verizon engineers in my market for making these decisions. Millimeter wave is a technology that has become an identity piece of the Verizon network that distinguishes them from everybody else. And if they do these kind of things consistently, if this becomes part of what they're going to do moving forward as a staple, removing millimeter wave nodes on macros, and definitely if they start removing it from CRAN, then they're just like AT&T and T-Mobile. They will be exactly the same. There will be absolutely zero reason to think of Verizon as any different from AT&T and T-Mobile. And that's just my take. You can agree, you can disagree. It doesn't really matter. It's not something I'm trying to argue. I'm just saying they're all carrying their networks over mid-band for the most part. And that would mean that Verizon would be doing the same thing if it becomes a grand scale de-emphasis of millimeter wave, which I think, again, is a bad decision. You've already built the sites with the stuff on there. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's disappointing. I've always celebrated the ability of Verizon to push the industry forward, pushing the envelope, trying things that are difference making. Like we know that millimeter wave has its place, and we know what it can do, and we know it hasn't tapped its potential yet at all. It's not even close. This is just me as the enthusiast saying I'm disappointed. I'm not happy. I don't want to see things move in this direction. This is backwards. This is a regression. Now, like I said, all the sites are upgraded in this area. They've got tons of macros, and they've got lots of it's just C-band everywhere. That's not the issue. I'm just looking at it from a core principle of networking eliteness, the thing that made Verizon different. It just wouldn't anymore, right? So I'm going to continue to monitor. I have to obviously track more of the macros to see where else it's happened or if it's happened at more sites. I'm going to continue to track the small cells and the CRAN to see if they retain them or if they remove those. I have not found a single small cell or mini macro type stealth site builds. I haven't seen any of those have any changes. So it may just be a macro thing. I don't know. But definitely something I'm going to monitor and watch. Guys, there is nothing like 800 megahertz of bandwidth being broadcasted from a radio. Nothing better than that. And really, this does impact my experience, because this was a go-to site for me to upload 4K video in like 1 minute. And now I can't do that anymore on the Verizon network. I can't do it on any network now, unless I get to a node, right? I can't do it on AT&T. I can't do it on T-Mobile. I got to get to a node. Right. And now I can't get to this one, which was amazing because I always, use this tower site for that purpose. Anytime I'm doing some filming around and I got to upload a video quick, it was my go-to, man. Really, really, really disappointing. Maybe I got to wait and see, and I got to do more testing and see how things kind of play out as I track stuff. But just thought I'd give you guys this video, and it's something we're going to monitor and watch. It could be just a market thing. Maybe the engineering team made that decision. Maybe it was out of their hands. Maybe Verizon's just looking at cost cutting. Again, moving more like the other two, right? More like AT&T and T-Mobile. So we're going to have to wait and see. I hope not. Well, it's one of the things I've always celebrated at Verizon was, celebrating the network goatness of millimeter wave. It separates them from the rest. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? What do you think? Let me know. Sound off in the comment section below. All the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe. Turn on the bell notifications icon. Check out some more of our videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.